Ah, Pot of Desires. Well, it's that time of year again. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome, YouTubers. I am the Creative Duelist, and welcome to my creative discussions, where today I shall be talking about a certain card that has created a lot of controversy and a lot of mixed feelings in terms of opinions, whether that be excuse me, whether that be savory or unsavory. So obviously, as you can see, today I have Pot of Desires here on the show to talk about, and I'm going to also talk to you about my opinions of Pot of Desires, as well as the Goldilocks Complex, which is something I will explain during the video. So let's begin. Alright, so what is the Goldilocks Complex, you want to find out? Now, the Goldilocks Complex is fairly self-explanatory for those who have read and learnt about Goldilocks and the Three Bears as a child. The Goldilocks Complex is something that is too hot, something that is too cold, and something that is just right. Now, in this type of situation and our perspective, for Pot of Desires, it's, something that doesn't work for X, something doesn't work for Y, and some decks, obviously, it works for Z. So let's continue. Now, the Goldilocks Complex, in terms of Pot of Desires, goes and as I've broken it down for you lot, goes into three categories. So we have combo decks, we have meta decks, and we have rogue decks. Combo decks, Pot of Desires is too hot, too bad. The reasons why Pot of Desires is not good in combo decks is because combo decks are very heavily reliant on needing their combo pieces and specific cards in the deck. For example, World Chalice need their cards, very combo based, very consistent. They need all their pieces. Other decks, like for example, this is before links, synchro decks like the Quasar build, you couldn't run Pot of Desires because you don't want to banish any of them. You need every single piece. So that's just one of the examples or two. Going to talk about the rogue deck. I'm going to save the middle for last. The rogue decks, it's bad, it's too cold. Now you're probably thinking, but isn't that the same thing as combo decks? Now, I guess you can say that it's a little different. That there is some similarities in terms of combo decks and rogue decks, but what makes them different is that with rogue decks you need it's not combo pieces per se. You need your main kickstarters of the cards that you need in your deck. For example, if you're playing Bujin and the main card you're going to use is Bujin Yamato. So say if I play Pot of Desires and I banish all my Yamatos, I can't play Bujins properly. I just can't play the deck without it. The deck pretty much, doesn't function the way it should be, and I might as well just scoop it up. And another example is Noble Knights, because if I don't get out my my equips and I just play Pot of Desires, banish, say like I banish all my Excaliburns or my Arfugitaires or Destiny, then that's going to cause me an issue. So that's another no-go as to why Pot of Desires isn't good in rogue decks. And for the middle, we have meta decks and specific decks that can play Pot of Desires with little to no issue. It's just right. It's perfect. This is the perfect porridge that Goldilocks likes. It's just right. It isn't too cold, isn't too hot. Reasons why is because meta decks aren't combo decks. Meta decks can go ahead and play whatever they need to. They can easily get rid of some resources without the issue of certain resources getting banished, because the mentality of playing Pot of Desires is You play three ofs with each individual card. So if you play Pot of Desires, there'll probably be that less likely chance of you banishing three of one card because you're playing a 3-card ratio. And of course, that works entirely in the meta deck's favour. For example, Zodiacs, you can play Pot of Desires with little to no issue and still play fine. Specific decks, we're talking like burn decks, we're talking the Grenmajuda Alza. It's that banish card that gains attack equal to the amount of banish cards. I think it's in both players' banish pile. So playing Pot of Desires basically adds ammunition to the deck. You plus, essentially, because you're banishing cards and you're drawing cards. So that is another reason why Pot of Desires works exceptionally in specific decks like that and meta decks. So to break it down to you, Pot of Desires is a very controversial card, and in my opinion, Pot of Desires is good in many aspects. I don't own Pot of Desires because many of my decks are quite rogue. I don't have any top tier decks. I have combo decks, I have rogue decks, and obviously Pot of Desires does not work very well in those decks. But if you're playing meta, you're playing decks, if you're playing any specific decks that don't need to worry about banishing stuff, you're reliant on a certain card, then that's not an issue. You can go ahead and play Pot of Desires at 3, 2, or whatever ratio you desire. No pun intended. But yes, that pretty much wraps up my creative discussion on Pot of Desires. So, in the comments section, please let me know your opinions on Pot of Desires. Do you think it's a bad card? Do you think it's a good card? I personally think it's an alright card. It depends on your deck. So it's debatable. It's 50-50, but that's pretty much my explanations and the Goldilocks Complex. So, for those who enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, give me your feedback. It's very, very important. And thank you for watching. Also, stay tuned for the giveaway update as well, once I'm 2 subscribers away from getting 100. So please, if you'd like to join the giveaway, please get subscribing, and I will upload a video in a very near future to announce the instructions and so forth. But yes, this is the Creative Duelist signing off.